Hello, everyone. It's Cameron with Get a Load of This podcast. I am your host. I am very grateful that you're joining us today. With me, I've got special co host Thomas. Thomas works with me over at Valley Trucking Insurance. So, as always, this episode is driven by Valley Trucking Insurance. Thomas, what up, buddy?
Oh, not too much. Just, taking some time to learn about more parts of the industry and having a good day with it.
Yeah, man, we like to have fun with this.
Heck
And I
yeah,
think there's so much value that our guests can bring to just folks and killing time while they're driving. So, that's why we do
for
this.
sure.
I love it. And today we've got an awesome. I'm honored to have him on the podcast with us, and he actually has his own gig going over there. So I'm happy to shed light on that. And I want to talk about what he's doing in the industry because I think he's doing big stuff and making change and kind of doing the similar mission to us, man. So I just want to recognize that. I think that's awesome. I want to give out a special welcome to Mr. Derrick Williams. Derrick, thank you for joining us. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity and you all allow me to be on your platform and podcast. It's a joy. Looking forward to
Yeah,
it.
man, I love it. What part of the country are you coming from?
We're out of Virginia. We're all the way on the other side of the country from you. I believe y'all are, Wisconsin? Is that right?
Wow.
No, we're at, keep going, man.
Yeah.
Another W. We're in Washington State. So
Oh,
we on
okay.
the
Okay.
opposite
Yeah,
side of the
very good.
country.
All the way.
Oh, okay. Okay. My fault.
No, it's all good. Like we're barely just
Wow.
uncovering from snow and stuff up here, man. It's
Still
like,
got the beanie on, man. It's still chilly.
like,
I hear
yeah,
that.
the groundhog is real here. They like tell us if we got winter or not, man, and they keep saying we got winter.
Right.
Wow. My goodness.
So cool, man. Well, I want to dive into what you do, and for the folks that either follow you or don't follow you, Derrick is doing a lot of cool things. He runs a podcast, which is in my mind, he's promoting the industry. He's helping with progression. He's featuring and spotlighting a lot of cool people doing a lot of awesome things. He runs the Trucking Entrepreneurs podcast, right, Derrick?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Cool. Well, let's before we unfold the trucking podcast, tell us a little bit about your background. A little bit about your upbringing, some jobs, maybe some experience in the industry. Obviously, there's going to be a reason that led you to start a podcast. So let's go back and rewind a little bit and tell us about yourself, brother.
Okay. All right. Yes, sir. Yeah. I'm married. No kids, but I do have a little spoiled dog, courtesy of my wife, and I'm gonna put the blame on her. So, but as far as my experience and everything, I've have like 8.5 years of customer service experience. This is going way back to the 90s. Also, some sales experience. I was a route salesman for a snack food company many years ago, driving box trucks. Did that for a couple years. That was fun. That was probably the most funnest job I've ever had. The only downside was it was commission was tied into it, so the pay was like a roller coaster.
Oh, I feel that.
So yeah. So it was kind of hard for me to have a really decent lifestyle with what they were giving me. But anyway, moved on to that to something more stable. Took up a trade as an electrician. Um, Been doing that for 15 years, and I just happened to stumble across. I really can't remember how I found it, but about the freight dispatching business. And so that actually piqued my interest. And so I wound up told my wife, I was like, you know what? Let me try this. Let me see what this is all about. So I actually wound up taking one course, completed that with a company. Then I took another one with a different company and completed that. Then it was like no more than 2 days later, it was like God just took the taste of it out of my mouth. I mean, I had no interest in it whatsoever. So I told my wife, I was like, I can't believe this. I just spent, over a few $100s on something I was, in my mind I was going to pursue. So after prayer and talking with her and my wife really going over it with me, she was like, why don't you do a podcast? And I was like, that makes sense because I always have had a heart to help small businesses. And I was like, what greater way is to provide a platform for small businesses, because that's where my heart is at, small businesses in the industry. But I was like, wow, I don't have no experience on it. So how can I talk about something I don't have any experience about? So I was like, well, I'll learn as I go. Take the knowledge that I accumulated from those courses. I learn as I go, and then I'll learn it from my guests as well. So I've been, hitting the ground running ever since.
Yeah, and I've caught a few episodes, and you're bringing on some fire guests too, and I feel like that's where a lot of the value is going to come from anyway, right? You're leading and coaching and getting them to share with your audience and your followers and listeners and stuff like that, right? And it's funny because like our mission was born. Out of a similar thing, like Thomas actually came to me, said one day, he's like, hey man, we need to be putting out like a weekly topic, right? Now his mind was like a weekly topic on insurance, and I'm like, well, insurance is boring. Nobody's going to listen to that. Nobody cares. They call us because we're the experts, right? Like they don't want to talk about insurance. Nobody wants to talk about insurance like Bruno. So we end up saying like, so my mind, I'm like, I think that's cool. It's a good idea, right? And I start to like ponder for a sec, and then probably like 5 minutes later, I'm like, Thomas, we doing a podcast.
Yeah, it took him literally no time to go. Yeah, and then over the next few months, like it's gung ho. He had us like start doing like segments on specific trucking issues, so we could start having other content too. But then this is the one that kind of just took off, and we've been having a lot of fun getting to learn a lot about things. And just like you, Derrick, honestly, I'm an insurance dude. So I know all this stuff about the trucking industry, but only from this side and vicariously through the people I talk with. So what you're doing is kind of what I'm doing with this one too. I'm learning about our clients, their world, what they face on the day-to-day basis, and trying to find them solutions so we can do what you're doing and help those small businesses. So, man, I love it. We're doing good things, I think, for our people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree. I consider it on-the-job training. I mean, you learn it as you go, man. And having fun with it, as well. So.
Well, and it's a group of beautiful and amazing people too, man. The trucking community is hard working as it gets. They are leaving their family every day. They sacrifice their time away to basically make sure that like we can even do this, right? Like that microphone in your desk, like our computers, our clothes, everything is delivered on a truck, right? Everything, they keep America moving. And I think it took a little bit of COVID to kind of shed some light on that, to give them a little bit of praise that they deserve, but they deserve so much more praise and accolades than I think a lot of folks give them. So now that's our way of giving back, man. And like your mission aligns with that. And I know that because I hear you talking, and the guests you're bringing on are, they're all trying to progress and keep pushing forward and stuff like that. So tell us about some of the guests you've had on. Like what's you're kind of learning as you go, as you kind of put it. What's a few things that have been inspiring to you that you've like learned? You're like, I took something from that. Like, let's highlight a couple of those.
Right. One of the biggest thing is pretty much like when I looked at your website, I noticed. Let me make sure I had it right. The commonality that you all had was passion and serving. And that's the way it is with the guests that I've had. Their heart is filled with passion about what they do, individually for their own, business or company or what have you. And, they're all in on it. I think of one particular guest I had. Her name is Tasha Harrison Springs with Texting is Risky Business.
I caught that. That was a good one.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. What I love about hers, I love all of them, but with hers, it really stuck out to me because she had a nearby fatal accident, and an accident that could have actually killed others just by her, how can I say this? I'll just say using maybe poor judgment at the time by, looking at her phone while driving. But out of that turmoil and tragedy, thankfully no one died. Out of that, it birthed her purpose, her calling. And now she's on fire, man. You cannot stop her. She, I keep in contact with her often. and bouncing ideas off each other and so forth. But she is really on a mission to take the mistake that she made and help others, and help save people's lives.
Right.
So she's going on speaking engagements and things
Yeah.
of that nature, which is awesome. And it's others. Mr. Dave dined with Next Gen
Yeah,
and
next,
Trucking.
yeah, him and Lee. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
awesome. We had them on the
Yes, sir.
podcast. I love what they're doing. Their mission
Oh
is
yeah.
beautiful mission too. And I'd love to have
Yeah.
that distracted driving and texting. I think that's a great topic. So you should make the introduction there, man, and we'll get a podcast with that too, because that goes hand in
Oh
hand
yeah.
with like Thomas and I deal with on a day-to-day basis. The main
Okay.
thing, like people don't even think about it. It's like, oh, a hands-free driving ticket. Like they don't even
Right.
think of it as like a big deal, and it's like, no, that person's going to cause an accident. They will. They are.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's like 180% more likely that person crashes than someone without that ticket. Like that's how
Right.
serious that is. You want to put it on a human level, though. You're going to take lives, and like when a big rig crashes, that incident you're referencing, it's fortunate nobody lost their life there, right? Because it could be
Right. Exactly.
disastrous. It does change lives.
Right.
Yeah, for
Yes,
sure.
sir.
Like
Yes,
I
sir.
also run into some people that we work with too that don't understand that sometimes, with their personal driving, they think that it doesn't affect the commercial because they're two separate kind of things, right? And the habits of drivers are going to persist, whether you're a professional or operating in a professional manner at the time versus, when you're on the road with your family. So, learning how to not be distracted, to be able to focus on what you're doing and have that be just what we do, to have the safety as a priority is definitely something that we need to highlight as much as we can, because the culture needs to be changed so that is what's recognized. Because what's the purpose if we're not helping each other, right? We're not keeping each other safe. So
Exactly.
quick, I was looking at your website, man. You have a lot of different topics on here besides distracted driving. What are you trying to focus on? Are you just trying to do everything on there? Or are there anything on there that you want to highlight besides the distracted driving one?
Um, let's say Next Gen and Trucking. Basically, what I'm doing, my whole platform is really like to showcase, businesses and everything. Uh, basically giving the entrepreneurs a platform to really show what they do. Give a little bit about themselves, show what they're doing, the services that they offer, as well as the products and everything. And I think of another one, Mr. Andy Coy, with My Trucker Pro. I don't know if you've heard of him or not, but he has a very nice platform that's specifically made for the transportation, trucking, and logistics industry, where we can actually come, network, exchange our services. It's so many things. And plus, when you are a member there, there's a lot of different perks where you can take advantage of and receive discounted prices. And I know if I remember correctly, I think he started like 2 or 3 months before I did. And so he's growing as well, but he has a platform that's made for us, people in the industry, as well as one of my sponsors, ICDriverslist.com, with Mr. Darnell Alexander. He has a humongous resource directory that's made for the trucking and logistics industry. So I hope that with my podcast and everyone contributing, that can help these two platforms grow, and people in the industry can come aboard and learn, because they're made specifically for our industry. So
Yeah, you're trying to be a voice to the people that are helping, or on their mission or their journey.
right.
And it
Hmm.
sounds like they all align similar to yours, where
Right.
that they share a common interest, which is the passion, right? They're not driven by
Exactly.
strictly money. They're not purely money motivated. They're not trying to exploit. They're truly trying to change the industry. Is kind of what I'm
Exactly.
hearing out of that. So, and then
Right.
that's what I've
Right.
heard from a theme from the stuff I've listened to anyway from you. So that's why you're here, man.
Right.
That's why I reached out. I'm like, I
Yes, sir.
took a
Thank
chance. I don't know you. We weren't introduced by anybody, but from
you.
listening and following you, and then I don't even know. I think I had reached out to you on LinkedIn or something like that, and or commented on something, and I said, "Man, we got to have you on this podcast." And then, fortunately for you, you actually reached out and messaged like, "Let's do it," So
Yes, sir.
I'm thankful for
Yeah.
that opportunity. So
Yes, sir.
what's on
Thank
the
you.
horizon for you? Is there what's in the current environment that you're talking to, folks that you want to talk to, that you're excited that's going to be released soon, and what are you looking at for this next year?
Right now, one of my focuses, well, I'm dealing with an injury right now, but once I'm healed up, I hope to be able to get out and go to all these different events I see, man, so I can, network and meet people in person and, just spread the word of what I'm doing and find out, what other people are doing and highlighting them. Hopefully I continue to grow and just shine a light on everyone. And I have a heart. This may be the wrong word to use, but I have a heart for the underdog.
Yes, sir.
And what I mean by that is smaller businesses that are just starting up and trying to find their way.
Yep.
And this may be going off a little bit to the side, but I'll tie it in. What really touched my heart was some years ago, my wife and I had a business, excuse me, that we went and found small businesses in our local area. And it's like 2 or 3 major roads here. And we constantly went by them every day, these different businesses. And very rarely did you see any cars in the parking lot. So we was like, hey, let's reach out to these people and see if we can help them with, getting a little notoriety and a little publicity. And back at that time, the only thing that really was hitting was Facebook, and I think the other one was called MySpace. And I didn't fool with MySpace while I was on Facebook. Am I dating myself?
Yeah, a little bit.
Some of the listeners aren't. They're gonna have to send a fax to them to be communicated.
To be fair, I remember playing with MySpace all the time. It taught me a lot about like adjusting websites and stuff too. I was like, it's cool.
Oh man, MySpace was legit. You can have the background music playing and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Man, I thought it was awesome, but no. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, and Tom,
that's
we all
awesome,
like Tom.
man. I want to hear where this. I'm actually very interested where this is going. Keep finishing this story.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir. Yeah, but with that, we actually wound up approaching, I think we got up to 10 businesses.
Okay.
Within 4 to 6 months, 9 of them actually wound up going out of business.
Wow.
And these businesses, I mean, each one of them was very unique. One of them was like a chocolate boutique. Another was a record store, and different things. Very nice people, man. And by the time we got to them, they already had one foot in the grave, and the other one was halfway there.
Okay.
So, and the one commonality that they all had, as far as the ones that went out of business, can you take a guess what it was?
Well, hopefully not you helping them. I don't know, man. You tell me.
Thank God it wasn't. Oh, that's a good one. I like that one. Basically, it was due to marketing. They, unfortunately, they had, like I told someone else, they had the Rolls Royce Bentley.
Yeah.
But they didn't have the gas to put in it so they could, style and profile and
Right.
show
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
that I got the nice Bentley.
Yeah.
So, that really stuck with me. And, it generated even more of a passion to help, smaller businesses. So that's
love
another
it.
form of my platform, man.
And we're coming to the origins, man. I love that.
Mhm.
Hey,
sir.
I forgot to ask you. So, because this is a trucking podcast, I mean, we're dedicated to the trucking industry. That's who we serve. One of the questions we always like to find out, and you might even have one, but if you don't, give us a nickname or something, is what would your CB handle be if you don't have one? Or if you have a CB handle, man, what's that name going to be?
Oh, and real quick before
Rabbit.
what? You already had one real quick. I was gonna say you don't have to be PG, but you were quick with that. That was the fastest response we've ever had.
That's my nickname. Is Fat Rabbit. Fat Rabbit. Yeah.
Fat Rabbit?
That means you're quick.
Yep, Fat Rabbit.
Oh, man. You're quick like a bunny. You're quick like a bunny. Man, there we go, Derek.
Is that an old football term?
Well, actually, it came from my grandmother when I was, I think, about 3 or 4 years old. I was told that I was a little fat, chubby baby, and I would like to hop around and stuff like that.
I
So,
love it.
you know, that name has stuck with me throughout the years. Some people call me Rabbit. Some people call me Fat Rabbit. So.
I love your energy.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Man, you're killing it. You're killing it. I love the origin story too, because like no doubt that's obviously helped shape and mold the like why you're doing what you're doing, man. So,
Right.
man, I
Right.
love that. What's on? So,
Yes, sir.
with that in mind, what's on the roadmap for you to get in front of these other folks to help them and. I don't know. Are you? Maybe I heard you. Are you partnering with that other company to try to kind of do a side by side thing and grow at the same time? Are you competing on it? Are you helping each other? What's the goal? Like, what's your plan?
With My Trucker Pro,
Yeah.
we're actually partners, and
Okay.
basically we have joined up to actually help one another, grow and get exposure.
Okay.
And like you said, we are basically on a similar mission, to help smaller businesses, independent owner operators, etc., to have a voice and get exposure out there in the industry. So
Cool.
we have very similar.
Man, I wonder
views and
we
points.
probably should have had him on at the same time, but like we'll rock a separate episode, and I'd love to shed light on that because
Yeah.
I mean I dig what y'all are doing. I want to help any way I can.
I just
so.
looked up some
you.
statistics from the Small Business Administration, and it looks like, per their statistic from 2019, 20% first year failure rate. By year 10, only 33% of small businesses survive right now. So the mission that you're on is something that's vitally necessary for help in that, because that's not a good number. I mean, our economy could be a lot better, and a lot more people could succeed with better marketing, with better presence, with more people being aware of services being offered. I mean, it's a thing, and I think that you're on a really good path to help those people.
Yeah, thank you. And likewise, you all too, man. And I want to kind of go back, if you don't mind,
Go.
and
It's your
touch on
podcast.
something.
You go where you want.
All right. You had mentioned, if I remember correctly, about how the trucking industry is so vital to the country. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I've always said, the small business was definitely the backbone of the country. But you are very much correct about the trucking and logistics industry because, you look at the logistics side, far as you taking the planes, cargo ships, and everything, bringing the products over to the U.S. or what have you. Then you're looking at the trucks, box trucks, cargo vans, dispersing it, throughout the country as well. And, if something were to happen with all that, we would be in big, big trouble, man. I mean, really big trouble. And a podcast I did with Mr. Jamie Irvin with the Heavy Duty Parts Report, he had touched on it, is like, if something happened to the trucking industry and that shuts down, within 3 days, people would start dying. Because you think about diabetics and different ones that need the medicine, people with oxygen tanks or whatever, so forth and so on. And then the other point on that is, unfortunately, if you really think about it, which I think is sickening, most of the, how can I put this? Most of the essential jobs or careers out here are the most underpaid, underappreciated jobs and careers, we have, unfortunately. From the firefighters, policemen, the truckers, teachers, you name it, even sanitation, workers or whatever, man. They all play a tremendous role in the whole pie
Yeah.
of things.
And I think the firefighters and police get a good rap, right? They're glamored, and like kids grow up wanting to be a firefighter or want to be a policeman, but very rarely is it on the roadmap to be a trucker or to be in sanitation or to be that. So they get a little bit of a bad rap, and that's what I love. You had mentioned Dave Dine over with Next Generation in Trucking. I mean, they're shedding light on this at a young age to gain exposure, and it's not just truck driving. Transportation industry as a whole is big. It's a small industry. It's a tight network, but it's big for the opportunities that you can come up in. You had mentioned, you were looking at doing dispatching, right?
Right.
And being brokering and that kind of stuff. So there's all these different avenues that folks that might appeal to them, right? And without folks that are advocating or championing the industry and people doing their part in it to shed light on this, it's going to continue to shrink, and the median age of folks in the industry is going to continue to get older, which it's in, I don't know, Thomas, I think we figured it out. It was like the 50s.
I think it was mid-50s.
For average age.
Right.
How do you get younger folks in, and how do you make it attractive, and how do you make it appealing, and how do you make it a career that's exciting for folks? And I've got a lot of clients that are doing things. My buddy John over in with Origin Transport, man, his trucks are clean, the logos are clean, he runs a solid operation, the benefits are great. Those are things, and those are people you want to work for. So anyways, man, that's sweet. That's cool, man.
Yes, sir. To tap into what you just said, how to get the younger people and stuff. I tell you what, that thing I posted on LinkedIn a little while back. if companies
was it MySpace or LinkedIn?
Let's
go. Okay. LinkedIn. All right, we're on LinkedIn.
Ooh, yes, yes, sir. LinkedIn. If more companies were to offer what Walmart is offering, I saw them offering with $95,000 starting pay up to $110,000.
Dang.
Oh my goodness, you will see a lot of young people jump in that.
I think so.
One of the problems though with that is, over the last 20, 30 years, our country's been nothing but go to college, and they haven't highlighted any of these trades that are vital to our entire country's existence. Like you said, if the logistics thing falls apart, people die. Hospitals don't get supplies.
I didn't realize we're on a 3-day timeline, but you mentioned folks that need supplies. You don't think about that. I think I get left in the woods. How long do I have? Not very long.
Right.
I think I could survive 3 days. But then you highlight a very important aspect of that is folks that have medical needs, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's wild to think about. It didn't even cross my mind. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is.
Trade schools are good. I mean, I think it's great. I mean, in an essence, Thomas, I feel like what you did with the Air Force and traffic control is similar to a trade school. It's not on the basic level of that because it goes to military branch, but same concept and idea.
Well, I think that was, I'd consider it a trade. You don't need a college education. It's a lot of OJT and self-study and, being checked off every technical thing. You just check it off and say, this guy trained on this guy trained on this, and it becomes nothing but technical proficiency in that job. Unfortunately, I couldn't transfer those skills to much other places, but I did learn a lot about self-discipline and learning how to do something for myself with attention to detail, which is carried over throughout all of my other jobs that I've ever had. And I don't know if I would have been able to do that if I was anything other than maybe an accountant, but I don't want to do that.
Wow. How long did you serve?
4.5.
Thomas? 4.5.
Yeah.
4.5. Okay.
Yeah, I got lucky.
Yeah,
I was able to
your
stay down in
service.
Florida for my entire little career there and be an air traffic controller. So it was a lot of fun and weird hours, no weekends, no holidays, but military takes care of the people pretty well. So can't complain.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for your service,
you're welcome.
sir.
Yeah. No, he came to me. It's it's a sales job, Derrick, as you know. You went into it, you're like, all right, man, I don't know about this. You make money, you don't make money. And then him and I chatted. He came to me, knocked on the door, and wants to work. And I said, well, you're going to come work for free, basically. And if you're willing to take a chance and do that, he did it. And that was we're almost 6 years.
Yeah, it's just over 6, yeah.
6, or we hit 6.
It was a Craigslist ad, and I'm sitting here. I'm actually a traveling phone book ad salesman at this time, driving around the entire Pacific Northwest, And
Selling MySpace ads.
oh God, I might as well have been selling the MySpace ads. I mean, phone books today. I don't know, man. So it was a difficult job, and Craigslist driving one day. Don't listen to that. I'm an insurance dude. You're not supposed to be on the phone and drive. But saw the Craigslist ad. I'm like, oh well, you know what? I'll try it. And yeah, you want to work for free? You want to do your own thing? Yeah. All right, come on
Wow. Yeah. So it's been history ever
Yeah,
since.
pretty
huh?
much, pretty much. It's allowed me to do pretty much anything I want to do because I've been able to control myself and control my progress and what I want to do, which is basically, like I said earlier when we were first chatting, everybody in this industry are entrepreneurs, and we have one thing that we all want to do, so we want to grow and we want to make money. And there's only one way to do that. Take chances, study, and make sure that you're always trying to be professional and put yourself out there, because without that, the businesses that you're talking about, they're not going to succeed. It's just like marketing, but for us as individuals. And a lot of our clients are self-starting, single owner operating guys out there, and they're trying hard to get their businesses up and running. And a lot of them are struggling too because the economy is really rough right now, and so they need help being advocated for. They need help like you're providing to educate themselves, be safer, so their insurance costs can come down. They can keep their equipment running better. All these things are going to help benefit so many people. Do you think that there's any one particular thing that is your passion within this industry that you really like talking about more than others? Say like distracted driving, for example. You touched on that first. Is that your favorite thing to talk about because of the safety implications? Or is there something more appealing to you?
That is one, which you just mentioned, but you know what the real core of it is knowing what each guest, their why is. That's really the core of it, because having some people that may leave like a professional career that maybe they're making six figures, 100,000 plus a year, whatever, and then to go from that to venture to start a small business where you don't know where that's going to go, if it's going to go anywhere. To me, I love hearing stories like that, man. Just hearing the people why. Why did they do it? Were they tired of their job? Do they feel like they was called to do something better? Or was it just an opportunity that someone presented them? But it's the why.
Well, Derek, what is your why? What drives you? What gets you up in the morning?
Basically, it's similar to you all. Service and helping others. That's me to the core. I mean, that's not only doing podcasts, that's whether it's church, interacting with people, whatever. I just love helping people, man. I don't necessarily have to be out there in the front. I'm necessarily mostly the guy that's in the back. Hey, even in a leadership role where I'm at work, when I was in charge of some people at times, when doing projects. And one thing I absolutely hate to the core, and I hope nobody hears it from my job, but I actually hate it to the core, is when a supervisor gets or manager gets credit, be like, hey, good job, such and such. But this person was in charge of the group, and the group actually was the ones that did the work. They did the dirty work. Did the sweat, getting hurt, or whatever the case may be. But you giving credit to that person that was in charge, which, I mean, granted, you the leader, okay. But my thing is, I'm going to put them out front. The people that's working for me, no, they are the ones that did the heavy work and ones that helping me look good. So I'm going to push your behind out there, and you're going to get the credit, not me. I'm going to give it to you because you are the ones that actually made it happen.
I like that.
So
There's actually a graphic that I like, and I think it's the difference between a boss and a leader, right? A boss is at the back, kind of with the whip, right, letting the team drive
oh
it,
yeah, yeah.
where the leader's out
Mm-hmm.
front, pushing and making way with the team, right, and inspiring from
Right.
within, kind of like, maybe like a captain on a team. They're not the coach. They're not on the sideline
Right.
telling you what to do. They're with you on the field. They're with you going to battle. They're with you in the
Right.
trenches, sharing those same experiences and leading by example.
Exactly.
And I try to do that. Hopefully, I don't know. Thomas can tell you if I do or don't.
Well, I gotta be honest. He calls me out when I'm not doing something. No,
Uh-oh.
but for real, he's been
I'm a
more
boss,
supportive
man.
than any other boss that I've had, except for maybe one or two in the military that were basically their jobs to be carrying people. It's like my first sergeant. But
Right.
no, I really love it,
Mm-hmm.
man. Credit where credit is due, always. And the hard workers out there, they don't get
Exactly.
enough praise. So I think that
I
that's a
agree.
really, really good thing to highlight in people.
Yes, sir.
And you're right.
Yes, sir.
You
Definitely.
gotta, and I can't take credit for what we're doing. You know what I mean? I'm nothing without my people. And
Right.
that goes for clients, that goes for my family, my wife, that goes for my fellow people, Thomas, my employees. I don't even view it as a boss employee relationship. In fact, when Thomas calls me
Right.
boss, I'm like, dude, I'm not,
To be
you know what I
fair, I
mean?
call
I'm not
about
your boss.
everybody boss. It's just
I
it's like
know that.
sir to
I
me.
know that. I know. So, but it like the connotation or El Jefe. He's like, all right, El Jefe. I'm like, all right. But no, no, man, I'm out here with you. I'm doing just as much, if not more,
Nah, he
right?
is.
Trying to
He's a
put the
true
effort
leader.
in.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
man. So that's cool. Yeah, and I was looking back
Yeah.
through. Man, you got some great guests on there. From CPAs, it looks like Diesel laptops. It looks like Red Dog Logistics. So I'm guessing you're getting like carriers involved in the mix and stuff like that. What
Right.
are some other ones and topics that came up that were an eye opener for you? Because you had highlighted, hey, I'm kind of like on the job training and learning as we go.
Right.
Let's shed some light on a few of those.
Right. Another one was Life on the Road Recruiting Services. I hope I'm saying it correctly, but Mrs. Banks and her team. One thing I didn't know about is the Second Chance program. That's really their core and what they're all about. And with people that has violations against the clearinghouse and everything, and putting them in a position to have a second chance to get back on the road again. And that's the core of their business, amongst other things. And I never knew anything about that. So when I interviewed her, I actually found out about it. I was like, wow, that is nice because everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone, nobody's perfect. And to hear about that program, what they're about, um, is absolutely awesome.
Now, are they a placement service? Is it a foundation that connects companies with these drivers? Do they have companies themselves that they put drivers in? Let's
Right.
expand on that a little bit.
Yes, they have other companies that they're connected to where they could actually help get drivers, place, as long as they, everything is in order, they can actually help drivers get placed and everything. It tells you funny, man. but they do have that set up, and retention of drivers. It's a lot of different services. It was a little while back I interviewed them, but they are on fire
Awesome.
right now, and I see they're actually focusing with other women and collaborating, and they're like a huge ball of fire, man. They're doing their thing.
Man, that's great.
I love it.
Keep up the
Yes,
good
sir.
work, man. Is there any guests that you are excited that you're going to have come on here in the near future besides us?
I know that's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to having you all on. Actually, I am. Just actually interviewed a gentleman yesterday. I don't know if I should release it yet, but
Well, and we're probably a couple weeks out from recording, so depending on your time frame for drop, it'll be in that frame.
oh, okay, okay, yeah. Mr. Chris Narat with Fitness for Truckers.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
Yeah, he is another guy. He reminds me of Mr. Dave Dine. To hear the passion, as you know, Mr. Dave Dine, you I could actually hear him. It sounded like he wanted to cry a little bit because he was so passionate about what he's doing. And the same thing with Chris. Very passionate about the truckers' health and the well-being and things of that nature. And because as you know, I don't know if you all ever seen the study about it or information on it. Um, uh, there's something out there that says that truckers have what like the lifespan is 15 years shorter than the average
Yeah,
person. Have you all
for
heard
sure.
that
Yeah, and
before?
I've got highlighted
Yeah.
from my dude Mark Minera, who's probably on a similar mission as your guy Chris there. Same
Right.
thing, right? Is his mission and journey is to um, basically empower truckers with the tools and resources to be active on the road, to not sit and just accept like being unhealthy, figure out
Right.
alternative and positive choices for food at stops, even if you don't have the best resources available. It helps you just make one positive choice, right? Just like one thing a
Right.
little bit better, but then over the course of the entire year, man, that implications on that add up. So, man, I'm excited to
Right.
listen to that one that you got going though, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
But yeah, we've heard that, man.
So,
It's a stressful job too, right? Like you're
yeah.
sitting a lot unless you're loading and unloading. But that's also you get hurt, right? There's a lot of injuries
Mm-hmm.
involved with depending on what
Yep.
the scope of your job looks like, or if you're a tanker, you're climbing up on the tanks, like or flatbed. You know, do you have to get it? Like, there's all these things that could happen that are just not even necessarily associated with the quote unquote poor health that I think people automatically assume and think, let alone
Right.
driving for a living. You know,
Right.
if
Mm-hmm.
you know, knock on wood, but you know, something tragic happens. I mean, that's risky business, right? It's scary. Like the main
Yes. Yeah.
objective is get home safe to your family, right? Get
That's
your
right.
cargo
That's
from
right.
point A to point B as quick as possible, as efficiently as possible, but more importantly, get
Mm-hmm.
home to your family
That's
and
right.
help others get home too, right?
Yeah.
So
That's
I
right.
mean, I think
Yep.
that for most of
Definitely.
us, I mean, maybe speaking too broadly or painting too big of taking a brush too big and painting too many people, but our why is typically our freedom and our family. And if we cutting
Right.
corners, we only hurt ourselves. If we're not helping ourselves, our future selves, right, with a one good choice today, just to help progress, like Cameron just said, we're doing ourselves a major disservice, and we're going to all put ourselves into a situation where we're going to have a shortened lifespan. And that mission that you
Right.
mentioned is hopefully, if listened to, and the culture changes, hopefully will help a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe to the point where there can be different food options at the truck stops because the demand increases. That way, we have less Carl
Right.
Juniors, in every Loves, and that sort of thing could definitely
Mm-hmm.
help progress that problem to a much more sustainable model for the industry. I mean, having people be
Right.
55 years old as an average and then be the ones to be dying first because of the standard health associated with the industry, it's just not good. So they definitely need that
That's true.
education.
That's
I
true.
love it.
Yeah. Definitely, man. Yes, sir.
man, that's awesome.
Well,
Man, you got some good
Yes, sir.
roster on those guests. Where can people find you? Where can they follow you? Where can they listen to you? Can they connect to you? Where are you at?
Yes, sir. You can easily reach me at www.thetruckingentrepreneurs.podcast.com. You can reach me there. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn. Also, I'm on My Trucker Pro as well, and also on ICDriverslist.com.
and those are
Man, we
all
progressed a long ways since the MySpace days, bro.
right.
Like, we coming,
Long ways.
we coming. Hey, I let's highlight my trucker pro doc. Let's highlight that because they're a partner of yours and you're a part of that mission too. Let's just take a
Yes, sir.
few minutes and talk about it. So tell us about it.
Okay.
Tell us the mission there. How do people get engaged there? What can they expect out of that? Because I think that's cool. I think it's a community thing. I think it's a network. I think it's a
Yes.
resource. I think you're trying to help people any way you can there. So
Right. Yes, sir. They're basic. Number one is free to join. There's no fee attached to joining them, and they are a community platform for professional. Whether it's drivers, dispatchers, uh, small businesses, large businesses, you name it. That's within the trucking and logistics industry and transportation industry. And if you were to go to their site, the first impression you will have is like a combination of LinkedIn, Facebook, and a smidgen of IG, Instagram,
okay,
and it's very sociable. Is really made just tailored for our industry and everything. So the co-founder, excuse me, CEO, Mr. Andy Coy, awesome guy. His staff that he has with him and all, they are on a mission, man, just to help others gain exposure, provide a platform to network, and push the services out there.
Cool. I think next step is then get Andy on. So you want to make that intro?
Yeah.
We'll get that thing live and popping. I think that would be a cool episode as well.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
That'd be great.
Definitely. Yeah. Matter of fact, he would love to talk to you all, especially being that you deal with the insurance industry and all, because we just had a big powwow a few days ago, and that's definitely. He would love to talk to you.
Yeah, man, that's what we.
So
that's where we thrive. We try not to talk insurance though, because I feel like it put people to sleep. Trying to listen to that. But there's a lot of value, and there's a lot of misconceptions and kind of bad stigmas attached with insurance in the industry in general, and they pay a lot of money for it, right? And so, but not everything's created equal. Not everyone operates at the same level. So there's a lot of value that I'd love to share. You know what I mean? So.
Yes, sir. I would definitely definitely link you all two together and let you go.
Yeah, it might be nice to actually talk about our profession one of these times when we're on these podcasts, huh?
Yes. And I'm going to give you all the chance to do it.
That's right. You send us that booking link, Derrick. Man, I'm pumped to get on your podcast.
Okay. Yes, sir.
That'd be a lot of fun, man. That'd be an honor, to be honest with you, if we could do that.
Okay. Yes, sir. Sounds like a plan.
So, what is there anything on the roadmap that you're excited to unfold? Either partnerships or things where that adventure is going?
I hope to obtain more sponsorship as I go down the line.
Okay.
Go down the road rather.
Okay.
And continue to network and expand, and of course, grow my network and meet people, and just be that platform, man, just to showcase people, man, showcase the businesses and what they're doing.
My man.
I love it.
That's it. And like I said, hopefully I can get out there before the year is out. If not, next year, get out and mingle, and maybe I'll be able to meet you all in person.
Yes, sir.
Maybe in Wisconsin, right?
Man, heal up. All right, man. I hope you come along
sir.
on that injury. So, hey, question for you. So, if you had a billboard that you can reach out to just millions of people, and you wanted to share, one thing, and that could be a quote, that could be anything that you live by, a mantra, or whatever. Like, what would that one thing be that you would want to share with people?
Procrastination is a killer to success.
Yes, sir. I used to actually have a similar quote on my background. So, like, I had my why on my computer background, which is my family, and then I had my goals mapped out, my rocks that I'm trying to accomplish for the year with, whether it's fitness and health, my mental, my mind, spirituality, business, that kind of stuff. And procrastination is like the subtle killer and robber of your dreams, right? And
That's right.
You got to keep moving, and you got to get going, and you got, time's not infinite. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you got to keep moving, and you got to get that momentum going. So, man, that's a good one.
I like it too. Time is our only currency. If we're not doing our future selves favors, we're stepping backwards, and we're only hurting ourselves. So that's a wonderful message.
That's right.
Thomas.
Yes, sir.
Thomas needs to let that sink in again.
I mean, just because I understand something does not mean I might embody that whole thing. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna bring Derrick into our sales meeting.
Remember, I prioritize my freedom here.
Man, Derrick, I appreciate you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Once again, just where can folks follow you? Like, what's your Instagram handle? LinkedIn, obviously it's your name, Derrick Williams, but where can people connect one more time?
Where they can connect is at www.thetruckingentrepreneursPodcast.com. Actually, on LinkedIn, I'm actually up there as the Trucking Entrepreneurs Podcast on LinkedIn.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
And no problem. And on Instagram, I'm up there as Trucking Entrepreneurs Podcast.
Cool.
And on Facebook, it's the full name on there, the Trucking Entrepreneurs Podcast.
And I'll make sure to include some links in the footnotes and that kind of stuff. So I'd love to spread the love and help your mission, man, any way I can. So, and part of us doing that is bringing you on, and I'm just so thankful for your time. We're so grateful and blessed to be able to spend this time with you because I know you're a busy man. So thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you for the opportunity of having me on. It's been a pleasure and an honor, and we definitely going to have you on our show as well.
I appreciate it, man. Good to talk. I loved the whole conversation.
Yes, sir. And before you go, did you hear it? Is there some type of static in the line?
No, we good.
Yeah, I don't got nothing.
No.
Oh, are you sure? I could have swore I heard one of y'all say that you giving me my wife flight.
I knew it was coming.
I love it.
Y'all hear that? I heard it. Y'all hear that? My wife heard it. I know my wife heard it.
I know, right?
Yeah, shout out, man. Man, it's been a good time. I appreciate you. Thank you. And this will be dropping.
Likewise.
Folks can find us on Spotify, iHeart, Apple, YouTube podcast, YouTube. We've got Facebook groups. So get a load of this on Facebook. Also LinkedIn. You can find myself. I know Thomas is on LinkedIn. Reach out in any way. Y'all have any questions. Or if you want to be a guest, just like Derrick did, shoot that message, and we'd love to schedule you on. And if you got something to say and you're making progression in the industry and you share the same passion, love to talk to you, man. So everyone, thank you guys. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great one.